Hi everybody, my name is DJ Hopkins and it's a pleasure to welcome you to this event, K-pop dance, social media, and Dr. Chuyun. This event is sponsored by 4 SDSU centers, the Center for the Study of Media and Performance, the Digital Humanities Initiative, the Asian Pacific Islander Desi American Resource Center, and the Center for Asian Pacific Studies. I'm a professor in the School of Theater, Television, and Film, and a co-founder of one of these centers. I'm going to introduce a bunch of people, and then eventually we'll get around to our featured speaker today. To formally welcome you to this wonderful gathering space, I'd like to introduce the library's Digital Humanities librarian and the director of the Digital Humanities Center, Dr. Pam Lack.
Thank you, everybody. You know what, I better put my coffee down. I'm going to start by reading our land acknowledgement. For millennia, the Kumeyaay people have been a part of this land. This land has nourished, healed, protected, and embraced them for many generations in a relationship of balance and harmony. As members of the San Diego State community, we acknowledge this legacy. We promote this balance and harmony. We find inspiration from this land, the land of the Kumeyaay.
Thanks, Pam. The Center for the Study of Media and Performance has, over the years, partnered with the Digital Humanities Initiative many times, so it's a pleasure to be in dialogue with my colleagues, and really, I don't take for granted that we once again have an opportunity to gather in a beautiful space in the library like this. Dr. Virginia Lowe Hagen, director of the Apida Resource Center, is unfortunately not able to be here today, but we're delighted to be partnering with her center on this event. Dr. Min Jung Kim is here today. She is a professor here at San Diego State University, the chair of the Department of Sociology, and also the director of the SDSU Center for Asian and Pacific Studies. Dr. Kim will introduce our speaker today. Dr. Kim?
Thank you, Professor Hopkins, for your introduction. Hello, everybody. My name is Min Jung Kim. I am also director of Asian Studies. Before we start, there's a couple of flyers related to Asian Studies, so please pick them up if you are interested. It is with a great excitement, I'm here to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Chuyun Oh. And I'm gonna share a story how we met. So several years ago, I was working on a paper about K-pop singer G-Dragon. I don't know if any of you know him. And I found multiple works published by Dr. Oh on critical gender and racial analysis about K-pop stars using feminist and queer frameworks. And I was like, oh my God, who is this person? So I sent a DM to her, letting her know how I'm enjoying reading her works. Then she replied back and said that I'm going to San Diego State. And of course it was like, what a coincidence, but also how lucky we are to have her here at SDSU. After she joined SDSU, I attended a dance performance by her. Well, of course she has, she actually started her dance training at a young age. As a graduate of Kirov Ballet Academy, a leading ballet school, she performed in classical ballet, and she continued her career as a modern dancer, receiving international dance competition awards and toured around the world. And then one day she decided to go to grad school, and she earned a PhD in performance studies from the University of Texas, Austin. Dr. Oh's performance I saw at SDSU combined her ethnographic work on refugees, community engagement, and creative dance performance. She was doing something really innovative that integrates dance theory practice with a critical inquiry on social issues. But that's just a glimpse of Dr. Oh's broad scholarship. Her work has appeared in top-tier journals, anthologies, and global media. Professional organizations recognized her work with award recognitions, invitations to be keynote speaker. Her latest work is her book, K-pop Dance, Fandoming Yourself on Social Media, which she's going to talk about today. Right after its release in July of this year, the book became the first #1 new release in communications and pop dance on Amazon. Dr. Oh's book received wide media coverage both in Korea and in the United States. She's been invited to give book talks in South Korea, United Kingdom, and the United States, of course, including today at SDSU. Please join me welcoming Dr. Chuyun Oh.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for the introduction. We are academics, so we like everything makes formal, even if the topic is known for being informal. So I'm glad that we have a smaller group of audience because I delivered a book talk about K-pop dance 2 weeks ago in a big theater with 200 people, and the only camera I had was my iPhone 7 Plus. And it's like a very shaky video, but we have way better technology thanks to Digital Humanity and also all the centers supporting this event. And we are gonna also have a dance workshop presented by the student dancers. They also performed at the event a few weeks ago, and the video gathered almost like a 7K view within like 7 days. And all my other videos have like 78 views in 8 years. So yeah, so you have star celebrity dancers today. So let me just get started. There's one thing that I wanted to share. That's me. I know she doesn't look like me at all. But like 20 years ago, I was a professional dancer. But performing on stage taught me that we are also performing identities on a daily basis, like dancers performing a certain role on stage. So I went to UT Austin to study performance studies. I was hesitant whether I should share this today or not. So you know the book talk that I just mentioned 2 weeks ago? My mother, who is in South Korea, got a chance to see the video. And she was a voice actress, and she worked with all the celebrities in a broadcasting company. So her expectation about look is like as high as like this. So she called me saying in Korean, like, Chuyun아, it's like, 아이고, it's like, oh my gosh. And she told me that you say you are working on K-pop dance and you look like older than me. And my mom is 70 years old. So I actually spent like an hour, to integrate practice and theory so that my visuality at least illuminates some of the aesthetics. So please enjoy. I will be studying a few more seconds. Okay, so my work has received a lot of media coverage, and today I'll be focusing on what I theorized as social media, because it turns out these days we record every single lecture, and I found that I'm actually speaking like the same topics over and over again. So today I'll be focusing on the first chapter that is titled The Social Media Dance. So as you already know, K-pop dance is a dance from South Korean pop music called K-pop. Although the style has been evolving, the stylistic characteristics that we know today began to form its characteristic around the 1990s. And I think what makes K-pop highly unique is that it is actually following a business model like Samsung or Apple that hire internationally known artists, technicians, and intellectuals to produce a very timely combination of everything, in addition to providing performing arts education to young generation. When I was invited to UT Austin a few weeks ago, a student came as an audience, and he said, he's a freshman at UT Austin. He said he got accepted at SM Entertainment. It's one of the biggest K-pop agencies. So he's gonna pause his study, and now he's taking a lot of dance classes. So I think there's a very close, let's say, exchange between academia and also entertainment industry, which I personally think what makes K-pop highly interesting to us. And of course, K-pop is highly dance-centric. There's a lot of performance elements. Another reason that K-pop has drawn a lot of academic interest is that we do not have many positive or empowering representation of Asian or Asian American. But if you look at K-pop, you will see a lot of variety of dancers and singers coming from and also educated in South Korean agencies. The book provides a detailed analysis of the evolution of K-pop dance from the 1980s On the left side, that's the video sort of I grew up watching. We already studied and that's called Gyeongniun dance because there's a Korean character that looks like a stair. So I grew up doing those dances. But today, K-pop dancers are also influencers, also entrepreneurs. They are producing dance content and creating their own business, starting on social media. The book also provides a detailed case study about BTS, an iconic figure in K-pop dance and performance, and categorize BTS as Korean folk dancer, modern dancer, and male dancer as warriors. The second part of the book is basically my 5 years of ethnographic fieldwork with K-pop dancers, and the process gave me a lot of gray hair. So I think one of the biggest questions that the student and also young people ask is that they are afraid of cultural appropriation because it's coming from South Korea, and sometimes they are also lip singing in Korean. So later, throughout the writing process, I was able to compare a lot of effort our student dancers are putting. Sometimes I'm closely following almost every single K-pop dance crew in the United States, and they literally post a video a day before midterm exam period. I don't know how they make it all happening, but if they are putting a lot of energy, effort, and time for years, it is almost like dance majors learning hip-hop, capoeira, salsa, and ballet, and we never blame those dance majors for doing, ethnic styles. So that we can appreciate young K-pop dancers who are appreciating the artistic labor of the K-pop idols. A highlight that I personally really love to share, which I'm not going to go into detail today, is how I basically started all this field work. When I was a visiting assistant professor at Hamilton College in 2016, I got a chance to work with refugee children from Thailand, and they had one of the biggest K-pop dance crews in Utica that has a history of accepting refugees and immigrants. So after providing a couple months of movement workshop, we produced a stage performance integrating hip hop, K-pop, and also modern dance, Korean folk dance as well. So the book became a little bit like a confessional at the end, sharing my privilege as an academic and also as an ethnographer, and also limitation as an ethnographer and academic, because throughout the process, I received a lot of requests from the field, let's say refugee children. What they need is a food stamp or finding an attorney so that they could keep their parents staying in the United States. And after years of field work, I simply realized that I'm unable to provide those social work. So, but as a performance scholar and also trying to make an activist statement, I learned a lot about the fine line between social work versus performance and what it can do for us and what it cannot do for us. So let's move on to social media dance. We have professors, but let me ask you a question as if it's my class. So from the top left, I will say you the style name of the dance, and I want you to anticipate how the naming process might work, okay? So on top left, ballroom dance, top right, club dance, if we can call that, I don't know how to call it otherwise. And bottom left, concert dance, basically ballet. Bottom right, street dance. What do you think about the naming process? Any ideas?
By location.
Exactly, and thank you for coming the book talk twice, Shashan. He also came to the book talk few weeks ago. Yes, so throughout the research process, I actually discovered that because dancing is a physical activity, the place we are occupying is as important as what we present. For example, I still love going to dance club. And the first place I went to with my husband in San Diego is a Gaslamp. there's a couple dance club that we love to go before we are getting too old. The movement that I will be doing in the dance club shouldn't be the same with the movement that I'm teaching for dance major on SDSU campus. Does it make sense? Because the space is different, and therefore the context is also different. So I got the idea from those plays, and I gave the name social media dance. And K-pop, along with the TikTok dance challenge, best exemplify the social media dance. I wrote, social media is a backstage to socialize and the front stage to perform. What I mean by that is that previously, dancers sort of perform on stage, and as soon as the show is over, they socialize, either in the dressing room or hallway or in a bar drinking a glass of beer. But on social media, because it is built to promote socializing with the global international audiences, whenever they like or dislike, share a post or retweet, they are actually socializing in addition to participating a dance performance on social media stage. A few months ago, Samsung released a new phone, and the actual commercial includes people dancing and goofing around. And it doesn't even need a tripod. Because my iPhone is 7 or 7 Plus, and I'm really hoping that I get this cutting-edge technology smartphone so that I don't need to bring those tripod. So I think that speaks a lot about the young people and a lot of our desire to be able to produce our own content without, hiring technical crew or lighting designer and all these professional staff who used to work in theater. There is a Vietnamese dance influencer whom I personally want to express my gratitude. So when I was writing this manuscript and I was in the moment of either completely giving up this writing process or just keep trying, but if you're writing a same topic for 3-4 years, you don't know who you are. You start questioning your entire existence. And that was my experience during COVID-19. And I came across this hand washing dance challenge video that became viral on social media. So I was lucky to have an interview with him over Zoom, and he told me that there are 2 things that he is really mindful as a dancer, mostly using social media as a stage. The first one is what he says, half body dance. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have legs, but it means that all the emphasis of choreography and all the literally the area that the audiences will be looking at is your half body, the upper body. And the second idea he brought up is that it has to be easy so that a lot of people follow it. And also we had a lot of great conversations. So he appears in the first chapter as an exemplary figure who is leading the social media dance. And I think it challenges our understanding of copyright, because it used to be a lot of artists are really afraid of what if other people steal their work. So do not copy my work. That has been the mindset. But on social media, if no one copy what you do, that means you don't get no views. So nowadays, people are actually trying to be copied. So that alters the way we consume, produce, and disseminate artistic work. Another example is TikTok Dance Challenge. So around 2019, Blackpink and their song became one of the top 10 TikTok Dance Challenge. So after watching their videos over and over again, because I had no place to go, I just hate wearing masks, so I just stayed home writing, revising, I came up with the idea of gestural point choreography. And it is applicable to TikTok Dance Challenge. It is also applicable to a lot of popular content in this era that is using social media. So I wrote briefly, it is a front-driven, two-dimensional, decorative, charming movement of the upper body and face. Although it sounds simple, whenever I say upper body, it actually includes like every single part of your hair. I think New Jeans, one of the new groups from Hype, and if you play their videos, they are literally using their hair as a part of choreography. And also winking your eyes, biting your tips, or the ways they are using their tongue, and also all this variety of facial expression becomes the key of making successful content. And our fascination about face is not new. That has been a big fascination in film, musical, and also a little bit of like a music video, because our face is the place where we identify. Like I can show you my feet, but maybe that doesn't help you to find that this is Professor O's feet, because it doesn't have enough individuality. But that is not the case when it comes to face. So when I was reviewing all this music video and evolution of choreography, K-pop already had very strong tendency of promoting point choreography that is situated in the middle, like size Gangnam Style, that is so iconic that once you see it, you're very, you just want to follow it because it's so iconic and it looks like you can do it better. So this is it. I found it very like addictive, and I could learn this choreography. So T literally refers to the crying emoji. And the lyrics are saying that you are so mean, and they are doing the arms akimbo. So it's almost like a musical choreography and quite literal. So if you are watching the choreography, you can also better understand the lyrics. And I think that's one of the reasons why K-pop also expanding to musical, because they have been already trained, like almost like a musical actors and actresses. There's a second video that shows even more advanced level of gestural point choreography. And it starts from in the middle. So this is it, it's quite short, but when it comes to the popularity, I'm gonna play a TikTok dance challenge of that short choreography. I think K-pop becomes really interesting topic for a lot of educators and entrepreneurs because it speaks to the democratization of education. So K-pop dance used to be disseminated through like official agencies promotion video, like a dance practice video, and later it became social media app. So there's a lot of apps that you can learn K-pop choreography if you pay, let's say, $20 subscription fee. And nowadays, there's a tons of YouTube bloggers who are running K-pop dance tutorial videos. And I actually spent an hour to learn the choreography, but I'm not showcasing this today. One of the reasons is that I wish I could learn the leg combination, but I had like a bunch of paper to grade, so I had to negotiate, okay, let's learn the upper body only. So there's one more adaptation, and I will give you a little more explanation. Okay, so based on my understanding, it goes like this. Tilt your head, and doing something like this, as if you are fixing your makeup. And now it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the choreography, but I failed learning the combination. And if you look at the TikTok Science Challenge, they actually make a lot of modification. So instead of going this, they change this as if they are just fixing their makeup. And also instead of doing the original choreography, they make it even smaller. So that it looks more like a gesture, right? And what I wrote in the book is that a lot of people think that maybe it's not a big deal, but I think it's a big deal because throughout history, there's not many people who are able to dance in a public sphere unless they are professional dancers, excluding like the social dance or club or street dance style. But when it comes to gestural point choreography, it is easy to copy, and therefore it is easy to be playful. So basically, you can create any content that you like. It is also called the TikTokable or Instagrammable. Another idea that I spent almost entire chapter is to explain how the clear, simple formula of K-pop choreography actually generates a wide range of transformability. Because if you are amateur dancers, you do not know how to start unless you have a clear formula to imitate. And then the last idea is how the attractive facial dance and performance generate entrepreneurship, because they are going to follow your account. And if you have enough followers, you might be able to launch your business selling t-shirts or lip gloss. So there is the value of making attractive face dance. And this is all like a theoretical, the distinction that I made, almost like losing my hair. So feel free to read the book for all the detailed theoretical intervention. So before I finish my lecture, I like to address K-pop dance fandom really quick. So these are the photos of K-pop dancers in UCLA, UC Berkeley, USC. And K-pop dance has opened a new era for a lot of dancers who are able to build their career and literally become superstar. Sienna Lalo, who grew up listening to K-pop dance, became a choreographer for BTS, and she also appeared in BTS music video choreography. And Dance Magazine cited a K-pop fan turned celebrity choreographer. Lalari is another example who debuted as K-pop cover dancer. That refers to K-pop fans who are replicating the original music video choreography, lip sync, makeup, and even fashion style. They also debuted as a K-pop group. Choreo is a UCLA K-pop dance group who has a lot of followers. And here we have SDSU dancers whose performance achieved almost a 6K view in a week. So please give it up for SDSU K-pop dancers as they will be showcasing some cover dance. for CSU Summer Art, where I'll be inviting like a celebrity choreographer from LA and Seoul, and I invited her so that she can teach with me. Marlene, would you like to teach us a little bit of movement? She agreed to teach some movement. So, I mean, it's way better than me teaching those movements. So she's going to teach us a little bit of movement from BTS Mic Drop.
Okay, so the section I'll be teaching is basically a little bit of the pre-chorus of Mic Drop, which you'll be seeing very soon. So the position of your hands would basically just straight up just be out, essentially.
You can stand up. It doesn't hurt you standing up.
Yeah, and then the motion of the body is more of like a rocking motion, so just right, left. And then eventually you introduce that with your legs, so you just go right, left. And then, so the thing with it is like, you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry about that. Yeah. So it goes up, and then down, and then up, and then down. And then you just repeat that. So it'll, in the song, it's like, did you see my bag? Did you see my bag? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so for that, it's just right hand up, you just left hand up, and then goes right, cross, open, and out. Again, just to go over all of that again from just this part, so it's 5, 6, 7, 8. Did you see my bag? Did you see my bag? Right hand, left hand, right, cross, open, out. So that's like the first half of the pre-chorus. And then the second half is essentially just doing the same thing, but to the left side this time. So it's going to go to the left. And then the second part is a little bit different. You're just going to go legs open, so it's going to go like open, and then touch your right leg, open, touch your left leg, and then out. That's basically just the pre-chorus. So altogether, it's gonna put it together. It's gonna be something like this. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Did you see my bag? Did you see my bag? Right and left, then right. Cross, open, out. To the left, down, left, and down. Open right, open left, and out.
Okay, that's great. So I'm going to play music. Feel free to follow when they are dancing, okay? You guys ready? Can you increase the volume a little? Thank you. to our student dancers because they have classes and we have 1 minute left, and I think it's a little too short for Q&A, but please email me if you have any questions. And thank you very much for joining us today, and I will catch up with you later. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to take questions?
Yeah, I can take questions. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. So for the show, there was just so much excitement, and I was hiding behind the screen, and I just wanted to scream and cheer for the dancers, but so sad that we are in library space.
You can scream and cheer here too, I think. This is library's gathering space.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to say anything to contextualize anything that we just saw?
Exactly, yeah, that's great, thank you. So something that I didn't fully explain today is the significance of K-pop dance fandom. I think whenever there's a people who are saying that K-pop dance is not an independent genre, I want them to look at the massive size of the dance fandom. Unlike a piece displayed in a museum, dancing is unlikely to survive if there's no people dancing it, because it has to be disseminated through the body. And K-pop dance, like hip-hop in the 1990s, has one of the biggest dance fandom. So if we like to appreciate all those ordinary people who are as talented as any celebrities, I think that makes K-pop dance unique because of the participatory dance fandom. Questions? We just want to see more performance, right? Yep, Joanna?
Dr. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. It was great to have you in the Digital Humanities Center. I hope to see a lot more of this and these talented students. I have a question that
Exactly. I'm glad that you bring up the topic of cheerleading because I think a lot of my students taking my classes are coming from cheerleading dance team, and SDSU has one of the best cheerleading team in the United States. I think, as you can see from the word cheerleading, it is supposed to be cheering the people. They could be using their legs or body movement, but their facial expression is one of the significant part of cheering the audience by delivering the extensive emotional excitement. And a lot of concert dance have been utilizing facial expression. Like in ballet, they would show like this whenever they have bleeding like feet. But they are wearing like a smile, presentational smile. And in modern dance, they barely smile because it might look, too celebratory. So modern dancers have very somber face. So the face has been already part of the choreography all the time. But what I noticed differently on social media is that unlike the big theater, the social media stage is literally right here. And also in theater, you might have, unless you purchase expensive ticket, you might be sitting in the third floor. So you barely see, you can feel the body, but you barely see the actual subtle facial choreography. But in social media, because it is so close, and the smartphone screen is carryable, we are watching dance on the go, in subway, on street. So there's a lot of distraction. In order to compensate those distractions and also the smaller stage versus a dance that is way shorter in a narrower space, the best item that you keep the audience watching your video is delivering the emotional intensity, not just exaggerated, but there should be a little bit of authenticity. And I think whenever I first came across TikTok Dance Challenge, I saw a lot of teenage girls like rolling their eyes like this. And it, to me, a little bit like too many variety of emotion in 15 seconds. But by constantly changing their emotional features to the face, they are able to avoid like audience swiping up their videos. Yeah, so I think it becomes more and more subtle, and there's a way more variety over time. And I think the hand gesture is almost like a backdrop of the small smartphone screen, because it is the best way, again, to make your dance more stand out if we are using all these complicated hand gestures.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just making, the mic, all righty.
Thank you for coming.
Great job, Dr. I was just making, Gianna was doing some movements which reminded me of the 80s, and I just saw her doing a lot of breakdancing movements, and I was just looking at K-pop, urbanization, bebop, breakdancing. Are there connections? Because
Yes.
the beats are very urban,
Yes.
the dance movements are very, very, very bebop, breakdancing.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say K-pop. So if you look at the origins, there are multiple origins, and American pop culture, especially African American, Latin American pop music and dance, played such a significant role in shaping the musical characteristics of K-pop, not to mention the dance style. So whenever they are taking dance classes, they not only take like modern dance, hip hop, jazz, ballet, in addition to the previous idols choreography, music video choreography. So there's a lot of mixture of elements. And something I've noticed even more interesting is that let's say the first generation of K-pop idols, and even before, there was a lot of Korean American immigrated to South Korea. As Asian American in the United States, they grew up listening to ethnic music, often identifying with ethnic minority, including hip hop or R&B. When they migrated to South Korea to become a singer, because the United States didn't have much opportunity for Asian singers, so they sort of brought the American pop music, including African American, Latin American music tradition to South Korea, and a lot of singers were not fluent in speaking Korean because they spoke English only, and those hybridity, cultural linguistic hybridity, because whenever they were singing in Korean, I didn't understand what they were saying because they were more comfortable speaking in English. So all this hybridity came to be creating a new platform. And I think the hybridity makes K-pop more relatable to global audiences who used to listen to K-pop, jazz, or other, and even electronic music and R&B. And I think at this point, maybe third and fourth generation of K-pop idols, whenever they are interviewed, they name previous K-pop idols as inspiration, but that wasn't the case. Like 2 decades ago, they were maybe saying Madonna, Michael Jackson, and also some of the most popular rappers in the United States. So I think creating its own genealogy, at the same time, it is opening the door to non-Korean idols, because there's more and more non-Korean idols, including Asian American, Canadian American, Australian American, who already have hybrid ethnic and cultural identities.
Thank you so much. I love the way you've integrated and expanded our thinking about the subject. Please join me in thanking Dr. Chuyun.
Thank you, Connie, for running the show.
Thanks, everybody. There's coffee over here, and there's still some pastries left, so please feel free to mingle. As we learned today, first there's the performance, then there's the socializing. So feel free to socialize. Thank you so much.